Hey, really nice to meet you, by the way.
Thank you.
John.
So nice to meet you.
We wanted to have you on the show.
Hello.
First of all, what happened here? This isn't a bit or anything.
No, this is real. I thought I was a better skier than I actually am, and actually I went down a Black Diamond run, the hardest run, but my knee was still on the bunny slope, and actually there was a mogul in the snow that I tripped over, Don Oldmeyer, lying face down. But that's an in-joke for NBC. Thank you.
Always
Actually,
the way to confuse a crowd. Do a joke involving a network executive.
Don can take it. No, but anyway, the thing is that then my ligament was torn and I had to have surgery. But I'm on the cane now.
What were you doing going down a Black Diamond slope?
No, I wasn't going down a Black Diamond.
Oh, okay. I always go down like the blue circle that says "little puppy,"
yeah,
you know, and you can just roll down very slowly.
I was actually going over a tiny little bump that my 11-year-old son caught air on, and I thought I could keep up with him, and I failed miserably.
Oh my God.
There was a sound like this. Ow! No, coming from my leg.
Your leg said, ow, no.
Yeah, it said many, many other words in Italian or something, and I was pretty messed up, but I finally got it all taken care of. Please don't worry, I'm fine.
People are very worried about you right now.
I'm fine now.
Well, you're used to taking pratfalls on Three's Company.
Yeah,
this was what you pretty much did every episode, was fall over stuff.
That's true. I only hurt myself once on the show where I was supposed to be with Joyce DeWitt and chaperone her, because this guy was all over her. So the guy was getting me drunk, and finally I slid down underneath the table, and the guy took her off to God knows where. But in the rehearsal hall, the couch was one way, and when we finally did it in front of the live audience, it was a much smaller thing. So as I slid off the couch, I smashed my temple into the corner of this table, and apparently I knocked myself out.
You're kidding.
And everybody thought, that's so great, cut. All right, John, come on. And I was out. And so then when they finally woke me up, the stage manager, Jim Rice, said, are you all right? And I went, who are you? I said, Andy M., Uncle Henry.
Did they run the tape of that? Is that
and then you see it, and on reruns, there's a knot the size of Ohio right here on my temple, and it's a reminder of how silly and stupid and wacky I was in those days.
Did you see, I mean, the show became such an icon for people, or, you know, it's one of those shows that's so identified with the late 70s, early 80s. When you're now flipping around TV, you must catch it now in reruns. What do you think of it when you see it now?
Well, I think, you know, I remember the times with Gabby and Roy and Dale and, oh, I'm sorry, this is the wrong show.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
No, I'm all
you
right.
hit yourself harder than you thought.
It's the bump years ago. There was one show I saw recently, and I didn't remember anything about it. It was about a little boy, and I said, I don't know what happened, so I watched it.
You didn't know the plot? You didn't know how it turned out?
I didn't remember it. I had never seen it before. I remembered the bell-bottoms that I wore, but that's about it. And, you know, I thought Three's Company is like Chinese food. You watch it, and then half an hour later, you're ready for more comedy.
Right.
You know?
It doesn't have this lasting power.
That's right. But people still seem to like it every so often. You know, I remember when I was, you know, in the 70s, people would put the show down. They said, well, it's not as hip as Taxi or something like that. And I would say, hi, I'm John Ritter, Three's Company, I'm sorry. And people said, no,
really?
no, it's very humorous. But until Lucy sort of endorsed it.
Lucille Ball became a friend of yours, right?
Yeah, she actually hosted a retrospective, and she got sort of burned in the press. And I said, you know, Lucy, thank you so much. I was so shocked, I mean, surprised, I mean, thankful that you agreed to do this.
Right.
And she said, well, you know, our show never got good reviews, and it's still on.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
The When it first started, they didn't like it?
Yeah, they said Lucille Ball should be doing films. She's much better than this to do this.
Right, people put down TV.
Yeah.
Did you, there was a big controversy with Three's Company. You had Mr. Roper, and then he was replaced by Mr. Furley. Can we see the pictures? Let's have a split screen here. Did you have a preference as to which one made the better landlord? Did you feel?
Well, sexually, I guess Norman and I got along better.
Right.
But artistically, no. Actually, I was really great friends with Norman. And in fact,
Norman Fell, Mr. Roper.
The first TV show I did was a Dan August with Burt Reynolds and Norman Fell. And I reminded Norman that I was a guest star. I played a revolutionary hippie who sold out his friends to the cops, and Norman Fell was the sidekick to Burt Reynolds. And I said, I want you to know, Norman, that you never spoke to me.
Yeah.
And now we're buddies on the show. And he said, well, you were nothing then. And I said, thanks, Norman.
Well, that's a nice ending to the story.
Yeah. But Norman went off to do the Roper spinoff, and, and then the producers wanted to get Don Knotts, who was one of my idols.
I'm a huge Don Knotts fan.
God, and he was so great to work with. And as much as the only person that have possibly take Norman and Audra's place was Don. And we were so lucky to have all three of them.
So Don Knotts your favorite?
Actually,
I'm trying to trick you into choosing one.
I really like Mrs. Roper of all of them.
Oh, God, well, all right.